Okay, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 1, Part 2. So now we're going to be talking about comparison shopping and which is the better buy. So many stores sell things in bulk. Where do we buy things in bulk? Typically at Costco. Okay, so we go to Costco all the time. Or another big store would be also Walmart. Okay, those are called big box stores that give you lots of deals. Another big box store you could say would be no. Okay, so we talked about Costco, we talk about big bulk items. The larger the quantities you buy, the cheaper it's going to be. So that's why when you buy a lot of it, you want to get it down to its unit price. So the only way to compare things are unit price. Okay, so you need to compare unit prices. That's the only way to do this properly, is to compare the unit prices. So it says, is it the same quality of the product? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. What about the brand? Sometimes some brand names are more expensive. So just like we talked about a regular grocery store versus going to No Frills. No Frills is going to have a lot of no-name brands, so it's going to be cheaper. Will larger quantities be needed? So do you need to go to Walmart or Costco to buy the large quantity of something? Do you need a big, large flour bag if you never bake? Those kinds of things, right? So it depends on how often you're going to go through all of the stuff that you're buying. Is it convenient to transport the larger quantity? So if you go to Costco or other stores, you're going to be buying a large amount of stuff. When you buy a large amount of stuff, it's going to cost you more, and it takes a lot of room in your vehicle. So sometimes you have to plan your trip so you can take a truck sometimes. So first of all, the first thing we need to do is we need to compare them. So this one's giving us 3 things to compare. So it's saying bulk buy is selling cooking products in various quantities. It says find the unit prices. So it says cooking oil that sells $36 for 8 liters. So I want per 1 liter. So I'm going to go $36. Remember, it's always the number, the price. Okay, it's always cost, price over amount. So it's going to be over 8 liters. That's going to give me the price per liter. So I'm going to divide those, and that's going to give me, what do you think? What's the unit price per liter? Well, if I take my unit price per liter, 36 divided by 8, that's going to give me $4.50. So $4.50 per liter. Now we want to compare quantities. The next ones are in milliliters. If I need to compare milliliters, okay, so now we're going to compare milliliters. When they've got 2 that are in the same unit and one that's in a different unit, you take it to the smaller unit. So when you're in the smaller unit, that means we got to convert this guy to milliliters. So when we convert them to milliliters, we're going to convert the liters to milliliters by multiplying by 1,000. So we are going to go multiply by 1,000. So it ends up becoming $36 over 8,000 milliliters is equal to X over 100 milliliters. So remember, when we're dealing with milliliters or grams, we have to take it down to where we've got the 100 on the bottom. And this is where we set up the cross multiply and divide. So we would cross multiply this guy and divide by 8,000. And that's going to give us the same number. That's going to give us $4.50, but now it's not per liter, it's per 100 milliliters. So now we're going to get the price is $4.50 per 100 milliliters. Okay, that's what that should give us. So let's take a look and make sure. So we're going to go 36 times 100, divide 8,000. Oh, sorry, 0.55. My bad. My decimal's in the wrong spot. 0.45. There we go. 45. 0.45. So 45 cents per 100 milliliters. So if we compare to liters, it's this much per liter. So I'm going to say per liter is $4.50 per liter. Now I'm doing per 100 milliliters. For 100 milliliters, that's my answer right there. That's going to be 0.45 per 100 milliliters. Now I want to know how much 500 milliliters is going to be. Well, if I'm taking a look at 500 milliliters, again, I need to convert. So I'm going to be using my milliliters, and my milliliters standard is this one. That's what I converted because I times by 1,000. Liters, you multiply by 1,000 to get milliliters. So liters to milliliters, we times by 1,000. That's where that number comes from. So now I'm doing this one. I'm doing per 500. So I start with my $36 over 8,000 milliliters. That's my standard. So I'm using my standard conversion in milliliters. But since I'm comparing milliliters, now I need to find out how much is for 500 milliliters. So I'm not using the number 100 on the bottom right now. I'm using the number 100 here. Now I'm using 500 because that's what the question's asking. So in milliliters, we always convert to 100, but this question's specifically asking us for 500 milliliters. So we will cross multiply and divide. So this is our X. We don't know our answer. So we're cross multiplying and dividing. And that's going to give us $2.25 per 500. I do believe. Let me check it out.
So we could just times 500 by 0.45.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Whoopsie. 18,000 divided by 8,000. Yeah, you get 2.25. So $2.25 per 500 milliliters. So what Miss Walker said is we could take this answer and just times it by 5, and that would work. Because 5 times 100 is going to give us our 500. So you could take this answer and just times it by 5. So on my calculator, I would take my handy dandy calculator here. Oh, we're going to make him active. Come on, calculator, wake up. Gotta make this guy active. Come on, buddy. Takes him a minute to wake up. Oh, yes, we know. Hurry up and wake up. So annoying. Sign in. Okay, here we go. So all I would have to do is I would go my 0.45 and I would times that by 5. And that's where we're going to get our $2.25. Okay, and now if I take my $4.50, $4.50, if I cut it in half, I'm going to get 2.25. So let's take a look at the numbers that we were dealing with here. If I look at the digits that we were actually dealing with, 500 is half of 1,000. Well, this number right here is 1,000. That's 1,000 milliliters. Well, 1,000 milliliters is going to be is going to be double that much. And if you take 2.25 and double it, you're going to get the exact same answer that we started with. Okay? So there's multiple ways to find these answers. The biggest thing you have to remember is when you're in milliliters, you have to set up the cross multiply and divide. All right, example 3 on the next page, we're talking about orange juice. So we're finding orange juice, and again, we're finding that there's one of them that's in the wrong unit. We have 2 in milliliters and 1 in liters. When they're in different units, we need to actually convert the units to the identical units. So again, I'm going to convert to start liters to milliliters. So I'm going to times by 1,000. Okay, so that means I'm taking this number, my 1.89, and I'm timesing it by 1,000. And that's going to give me 1890 milliliters. So now I've got my number for A. So option A, we're going to put A here, B here, C here, not left to right, or up and down like that. So for A, we want to find out again, if it's in milliliters, we have to cross multiply. So we're going to set up our money. Money's always on top. $3.99 over 1890 milliliters. And then we always set it up as X over 100 milliliters. Same thing over here. We're going to have X over 100 milliliters. Same thing here, X over 100 milliliters, because we have to set up the cross multiply. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're setting up the cross multiply. Okay, so the very next thing we do is the cross multiply. So now we're going to multiply those two numbers and divide by the number left over. The number left over is on the bottom this time. That's okay. So we are going to find out, and because it's dollars and cents, we're talking pennies, you need to round to 2 decimal places. So this guy is going to give us 0.21, so 21 cents, and now you got to say per 100 milliliters. So that's the cost of the first orange juice. Then we got to find brand B. Brand B has $2.99. $2.99 for 750 milliliters. And again, we're going to cross multiply and divide. 5 looks a little drunk there. Okay, so again, like I said, we're going to cross multiply and divide by the number left over. And that's going to give us a cost of 0.40. So that means 40 cents per 100 milliliters. Brand C says 89 cents. If it's in cents, we got to convert to dollars because the other numbers are in dollars. Oh boy, glitchy. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so convert cents to dollars by dividing by 100. So that's going to end up being 0.89 cents. So our unit price for this guy, 0.89 for 250 milliliters. It's really glitching out. And now we're going to cross multiply that one. So this multiplies by that one. And we divide by the number left over on the bottom. That's going to give us a price of 0.36 for 100 milliliters. Now, if it's a question in your assignment booklet and it's comparing 3 items, each one of those would be a mark. This would be a 3.5 mark question. So this is an example of a 3.5 mark question. Where do you think the other 0.5 comes from? Where's the other 0.5? What are we trying to figure out when we're comparing them? Why are we doing it? What are we trying to figure out? What are we looking for? Why would I go to Costco versus a normal grocery store sometimes? Okay, bigger amounts, but what am I trying to find though?
For the best price.
The best price, the better deal. So you're looking for the cheaper deal. The whole reason we're doing it is to circle. We want to circle the better, which means cheaper, because better is always cheaper, costs us less, so we have more money in our bank account. The cheaper deal, okay, the better or cheaper deal. So out of all 3 of those, we've got 21 cents, 40 cents, and 36 cents. The one that is cheapest is the 21 cents. So brand A will be your cheaper one. So you have to circle the one that's cheaper. That's how you get your extra 0.5, by noticing which one's cheaper. Okay, when we take a look at a question when we're comparing 2 items, these would be examples of 2.5 mark questions. Okay, so the 2 marks come from finding the unit price of each. The 0.5 comes from what? Circling who? the best price, the better deal, right? You want to circle the cheaper one. So the lower number, you want the lower number, that means it's cheaper. So these ones are in grams. This time we're talking about meat. So now it says we got luncheon meat and we've got other luncheon meat. Some cost more, some cost less. We don't know which is better because it's different quantities, but we're noticing it's grams. So anytime we have grams or milliliters, we have to set up the cross multiply. So this guy is going to be money on top, 3.97 on top of 500 grams equals, and now we set up our cross multiply, x over 100 grams. And that's what's going to be over here too. X over 100 grams. All right. We've set up our cross multiply. Now we literally do what we're told. We cross multiply. That means the ones that are diagonally from each other. We multiply those and we divide by the number left over. That's going to give us our unit price. So our unit price for this one is 79 cents per 100 grams. Okay, so we don't know if the other guy is cheaper yet. So now we got to set up the other one. So the other guy costs $4.95 for 800 grams this time. So what you're going to do now is you're going to cross multiply those ones and divide by what's left over. And that's going to give us a price of 0.62 cents. So 62 cents per 100 grams. All of that work just showed me that you got 2 marks. Okay, last step to get your 0.5 mark, you got to circle who's your cheaper deal. So which guy's your cheaper deal? Who's cheaper? 62 cents. So that means your 800 grams is your cheaper deal. Okay, even though the money costs more, $4.95, you're getting it down to a better deal when you deal it down to your unit price. Okay, so it looks like it costs more, but it's actually going to be the better deal. Okay, now we're talking gas. Oh boy. Gas is expensive nowadays. Holy cow. So this one's telling us, and these are both in liters. So if the units match, you don't have to convert them to milliliters or grams. So if the units match, we just compare. So this is going to be money divide by amount. 35.55 divide 45 liters. That will give us our answer right away. Same with this one. 27.65 divided by 35 liters. The only time we have to set up the cross multiply is when we're comparing with grams or milliliters. These ones are not those units. So when it's not that unit, it's literally just money on top of amount. That's our quickest way to do our unit price. So money on top of the amount of objects. So now we're going to divide that. And we're going to get, where are we at? We're going to divide both of them. So the first one is going to give me 0.79 cents per liter. The second one is also going to give me 0.79 cents per liter. So it doesn't matter which gas station you go to this time. No, they're identical. So you have to tell me they're the same. So you're going to say they are equal or the same. And you've got to tell me that because there's not one of them is cheaper. So there's nobody to circle. They're identical. So when they're identical, you got to tell me that. Otherwise, I'm assuming you don't understand what the next step is. Okay. So again, that would be a 2.5 mark question. You get a mark for each answer and then a mark for saying they're equal or the same. Okay. All right. We're going to move it up and do the next one. The next one compares 2 different sizes again. So we have milliliters this time. If we've got milliliters, we have to convert. This guy's got to convert. So we are going to times him by 1,000 because we have to convert him to milliliters. And then we're going to set up the cross multiply because it's milliliters. So the first one, we're going to notice price. And let's see here. So we're going to notice the price is $1.25 for 375 milliliters. This one is $3.25 for 2,000 milliliters. That's $3.25. Now we're setting up the cross multiply. So what am I going to write for a fraction on the right-hand side? What's it going to look like? What would I write as my second fraction? Always. What do I have to write when I set up a cross multiply? What is going to be my second fraction? Thank you. It's going to be x over 100. We always start that way. So we're going to have x over 100 milliliters. I'm glad someone's paying attention. Over 100 milliliters. And now again, cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply, divide by the number left over. Cross multiply, divide by the number left over. And again, it looks like the guy on the right costs more, but right now we don't know yet until we get the unit price. So this guy's unit price is going to give me 0.33 cents per 100 milliliters. And this guy is going to give me 0.16 cents per 100 milliliters. So the one that is the cheaper one, we're going to notice 16 is cheaper than 33. Okay, 16 cents is cheaper than 33 cents. So we would circle this one. So even though it looks like it costs more, they bought it in bulk. They bought a larger size. So usually if you buy the larger size, it's usually a better deal. Okay? Yeah, you betcha. I'll push pause. Okay, our final two examples. This is example 5. We've got Janelle. She can buy a box of 25 Twix bars from Costco. That's going to cost her $14.95. So, whoopsie, I'm still in highlighter. Okay, so I've got $14.95. Money's always on top. That's going to be 25 Twix bars. So nothing is in milliliters or grams, so it's just money on top of amount. And I divide. Okay, money divide by amount. That's going to give me how much for one chocolate bar? That's going to give me 60 cents per chocolate bar. You could put CB if you want, chocolate bar. Then it says Safeway. So then it says a package of 4 from Safeway is $3.49. So again, money on top, $3.49 over 4 Twix bars. So again, we're going to divide them, and this would be a 2.5 mark question again. Equals 87 cents per chocolate bar. So in this case, what's the better buy? We say it is Costco. So Costco is the better buy. Now, this part here, it's cut off the end. It says buy how much is what it's supposed to say. Buy how much. And now what you're going to do is just subtract them. You're going to take the big number, subtract the small number. Oh my gosh, look at it glitch. Hang on. Wow. Freaky dee. Okay. So on this one, we're going to go big, subtract, small. So my big number, 87 cents, subtracting 60 cents. It is 27 cents per bar cheaper. So the only thing that makes this question a little bit harder is you don't have to just circle the number who's cheaper. You have to tell me by how much. So now you're going to add an extra point in there. So circling it would be your 2.5 marks. This would be a 3-mark question because now you got to subtract. So subtracting and telling me how much cheaper it is, that's what's going to be your extra mark there. Last example, same idea. So we got Autumn, a designer, and choosing fabric for curtains in a living room. So we're going to have linen over here and we're going to have cotton over here. So linen, again, it's not milliliters and it's not grams. So it's just our money on top of the amount. So over 3 yards. Yards, the symbol is YD. Cotton is going to give us $60 on top of 8 yards. And now we divide them to figure it out. Was everybody done with example 5? If you're not, I can put it back up. Just let me know. So linen is going to cost us $12.78 for 1 yard. Per yard means for one of them. This guy over here is going to cost us $7.50 per yard. So, and now it wants to know which is the better price per yard, and I want to know by how much. So looking at it, it looked like cotton was way more expensive because 60 is bigger than $38. $60 is more, but you get more yards for that, so it ends up being cheaper. So right now we know this guy's the cheaper one, but now we got to figure out how much. So we take the big number, $12.78, and we subtract the small number, $7.50. So that's going to give us $5.28, and we write the word cheaper. That's all you got to write. So you take big, subtract small, and tell me that it's cheaper, but you got to say how much. So this tells me how much cheaper, and we chose the cheaper brand, which was cotton. This concludes second part of lesson 1.